year ahead of the Football World Cup, the focus is on Brazil, the rising giant among Latin American countries. But while it might be the hottest bet on the football field, where does Brazil stand in economic terms? Here in London, where the Suisse Research Institute has gathered together for its biannual meeting, we compare Brazil with another of the region's heavyweights, Mexico.
I think clearly the two big ones for the future are Mexico and Brazil, for a whole raft of reasons, not least their size. I think both of those two have a very bright future, despite Brazil's current problems.
Brazil and now Mexico, they've grown rapidly. They have modernized. They have very significant middle classes. They've brought millions of people out of poverty. They've worked on developing a highly educated workforce.
They have many great advantages for the future. Young population. In the case of Mexico, very substantial amount of oil reserves. Mexico rather ahead of the field at this moment with Brazil, but Brazil will certainly be able to exploit their natural resources over the next few years.
I think Mexico is more exciting from a political point of view because we can see there are going to be several reforms, probably opening, for the first time the energy sector to foreign investment. Some regulations on, excise taxes on beverages. So I think that's going to be extremely interesting to watch.
I think what's been very interesting in Brazil recently is the way the government seems to be, it's early days yet, the way they seem to be reacting to some of the disturbances, in that they're taking them with a degree of authenticity and recognizing some of the underlying trends and the underlying tensions. For example, very high food and staple prices, and beginning to react to that, maybe going to spend more money on healthcare, education.
We have had reasonable growth in Mexico and Brazil, but not too impressive. Mexico and Brazil make more than 60% of the Latin American economy. So if Mexico and Brazil don't perform better, the whole region as a whole is not going to perform better. So I think Brazil and Mexico need to wake up, to be more ambitious and to accelerate the pace of reform.
If one looks at economic growth and various other criteria, Mexico clearly stands out. And obviously the big problem with Brazil was that the economy, which only 3 or 4 years ago was a strongly growing economy, that economy stalled last year. And although over the last month or two we've actually seen some improvement in the economic indicators, I think Brazil is going to struggle to get towards 3% growth in the fourth quarter of next year.
Right now we have a debate in my country of what should happen with the energy sector. And now we are having a big debate because the president of the country is committed to open up the energy sector for private investment, domestic and foreign.
This is an opportunity to bring in some of the technology and some of the big investment funds that you really need to rebuild, strengthen the energy sector in Mexico, which has been underperforming, but relative to the resources that are available, it is a tremendous opportunity for Mexico and for foreign investors.
The Mexican market was very expensive. It's come down. Although it's still moderately expensive, I actually think the downside risk in the Mexican equity market is now very low. The Brazilian market, year to date, has declined by 23%. It is now one of the cheapest markets in the world. Having said that, I would want very clear evidence of an improvement in the Brazilian economy, and I think we'll probably get that later in the year. So Brazil is cheap. And I think the right strategy is slowly to move back into Brazil over the next 6 months.
Well, that was Brazil and Mexico in economic terms. Let's wait and see what happens with the Football World Cup. For more thought leadership from the Suisse Research Institute, check out the website.